worry, Bullet fans, don't worry. We've got some good young quarterbacks. We have 5 that we're going to work with. We have 4 of them that we worked with in the spring. We have 1 coming in. Zach Miller is an excellent player, and he was the backup last year. He brings everything to the table that Cody Smith brought to the table. Very competitive, good feet, throws the ball well. And we can go down the line with C.J. Donahue and Sam McDermott, Ryan Gallagher, and then we have a young guy coming in, a freshman coming in named Danny Thompson, and he's an athlete. And then finally on the offensive line,
continue to build, take advantage of the opportunities that have been given us, and we want to continue to try to be the best. Results will take care of themselves. We understand that this is a process. Outcomes are not the important thing. It's about performance with our program right now. And that's one of the things that we will continue to emphasize. It has to be, we talk that this is a year that all our Juniata men in our program need to be all in. It's time that you push all the chips away from you at the table and push them to the middle of the table, because if we're not all in, we won't continue to achieve or improve as we have over the last year. In terms of
it's going to
be a competition between those 4.
Todd, and it's an open competition with Mark Rosenbaum, Taylor Colmer, and we're really high on Cam Olson, a freshman that we brought in last year that is as athletic as maybe the other 2. But, you know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be tough. We talked about it at length with the staff the other day. I mean, what do we do? And somebody's going to be upset. And I don't think nowadays you can do a 2-platoon system. We'll see how that develops. But Taylor has done a fabulous job for us. He's bright. He's athletic. He knows the game. Mark, as I said, won the job a year ago, and he's probably our biggest, strongest kid, being 6'3", 210 or whatever he is. So we got a fun camp coming up. But they've competed in the weight room. They've competed in spring. They're great kids, and we're bringing in, I think, 4 QBs that we're really high on also. So it'll be interesting.
A good nucleus of kids on our team. On offense, we return a very important part in our quarterback, E.J. Schneider. E.J. had a very successful year last season, being named as a first-team all-conference quarterback. But to be a first-team all-conference quarterback, you have to have some weapons around. And we'll return all 3 of our starting receivers from a year ago, Tim Muller, Paul McGann, and Jordan Zachary. And we feel that those guys are as explosive as anybody.
And in spring practice, we get to throw the ball a lot. So, it means a lot. I think if you look at our offense and what Ursinus needs to do to become a better offense is, we need to be able to run the ball consistently more at times. So I think having those receivers out there are going to help us. But we're not going to run the ball just to run it. If teams are going to try to stop our run, then we're going to pass the football, and we're not going to sit here and try to beat our heads up against it. But I think those receivers and our quarterback hopefully are going to open up our running game a little bit.
Championships in 8 of the last 11. We've got good football players. We've got great guys that work extremely hard. This season coming up, I've been asked a lot of questions about some preseason rankings, things like that. And it's something that I think years back used to bother me, and probably bother our team a little bit. But as the years have gone on now, we've learned to embrace that. When the preseason rankings tell us that we've done a good job the last several years, and puts a little bit of pressure to say, hey, we've got to continue what we've been doing in the past. I think our guys have embraced that. We don't think they're there yet as a team, but as we look at some really fine programs at all different levels and all different sports, certain teams have picked to win or picked high each year. So whether it's the New England Patriots or University of Alabama football or Mount Union in Division III, those teams have learned to deal with it, and our guys need to learn it too. So we don't mind that. We embrace it right now, but at some point too, when the season starts, we tell our guys to ignore the noise. That's all in the past. We look at our season coming up right now. So
the fact that you guys will be healthy going into the first day of practice.
Both. Last year we had a lot of injury issues, a lot of season-ending injuries through training camp and early in the year. So one thing, our strength and conditioning program, like I said earlier, to have a year working with our guys now. When you're looking at injury prevention, that's where it starts, in the weight room. So we've had a great off-season in that regard. We're bigger and faster and stronger than we've ever been. But then also, like you said, the youth, to have 81 of our 106 guys, either freshmen or sophomore, that bodes well for enthusiasm and really set the foundation for the future.
Scott Dapp, our athletic director since '94. Certainly, I think when you take over a program, take over a business, become the CEO, you want to put your own stamp on it, no matter how long you've been working there. And, you know, that's been something different, and just the change of playbook, terminology, things behind the scenes that the players have to adapt to. I think they've been resilient with it. Certainly a change in schedule of how we practice, when we meet. You know, certainly the seniors have the most difficulty with it. The elder guys, just because it's new for them. The freshmen you bring in, they don't know any different. So that's easy for those guys. They just march accordingly with that. But that's been great. You know, when having our strength coach, when I took over, he got hired. So you know, having a strength coach.
We're going to rebuild the whole thing, but we have some good young players, and I think we've got some talented players. Defensively, we bring back some players that gained a lot of experience for us, but I think they know that maybe as a group we're not as individually talented as we were back in 2004 when we led the country in total defense. So there's challenges there as well. And the